Hey, what's up? It's your girl Tamara, aka Girl from Harlem.
And this is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee.
Why are you smiling like that?
Cause it's show, man. I don't want to do the show.
This is the GAUDS Show. Tell them what
this is. The GAUDS Show. And
why are you so nervous?
Because, man, y'all don't understand. Like, imagine a player who's in the game also doing commentary on the game of other players. Like, this puts an X on my back. I'm more excited about sitting down with my bros, Willie Joe and Royce, who are our guests. Shout out to them.
Ooh, welcome to
who have penned themselves the Fly A&Rs.
You better know it.
And in doing this, I was like, what can we talk about? By the way, this is probably going to be, I'm probably going to do this list like 50 times. I'm telling y'all now. I have to. Because it's like, you know what it's like the NBA. Like, somebody, the best basketball player of the year might not be the best guy. Like last year, Steph Curry was the best basketball player.
All right, I like that. I'll let you.
Absolutely.
So, I just need to make sure that, people don't get, I feel like this show going to piss some people off. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to get DMs about this shit. I can feel it. I already feel people call me like, nigga, how you going to put... Dog, this is just all fun and games and fun, and let's have some fun. I don't want to do this shit, but my bros are here, so we're going to do this shit. Welcome to the show, guys.
Appreciate you.
All right, so tell us a little bit about yourselves. I know, and what you repping. I know y'all repping...
Bay Area all day. Vallejo, California.
Me and Willie Joe go far back. Willie Joe used to be an artist, and him and my group used to compete against each other.
We was the best in the city.
Yeah, was the best in the city. Willie,
in Atlanta or about
in Atlanta?
Stop it.
Y'all not understanding. This nigga Willie Joe will come out and do Get Him Got Him Good, and he was like he was doing like this shit where he would like rap normal, and then he'll get to another part of the song and he'll just start shaking violently. While it was like he was literally, if I'm being honest with you, like it was Willie Joe, B.O.B., Janelle Monáe, Jacob Lattimore, Lil Chucky. It was a lot of us that were all kind of coming up in that like talent show circuit. But when Willie Joe was on the bill, he was, out of all of us, he was the first one to get signed. Like, he was the one, straight up. And I got to give him his credit because this nigga, and it was because he was performing. Like, he wasn't just rapping. He was like bringing that bass shit to Atlanta. It was crazy.
I can't tell. He looks so like calm and chill and like.
Yo, this new executive Joe.
Oh, that's what it is.
You don't know.
I'm here to get the new executive Joe. I'm here to get to know a new executive.
Yeah, because he's legendary for live performance. Like, if you need, like, label solicit him now to sit with an artist before tour.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, so tell us what you guys got going on right now.
Big GM, man, Generation Now. We're just pushing the movement. Top of the year, just, we had a goal of trying to drop all the, many projects as we could. We did a good job. We dropped Jack Joint. We dropped Uzi EP. Dropped the SETI Gangsta Grills.
This is our year.
Okay. These dudes be talking their A&R shit. I want y'all to know. They talk their A&R shit.
Listen, this is our year. This is the year of it now. Because regardless of what it is, whether it's our CEO or the artist that we breaking or the artist that we broke, we dominating everything. It's something to talk about with us every week that's new. You know what's happening this weekend? Saturday Night Live, hosted by Jack Harlow.
Fire.
What are we talking about?
Ooh.
You know what just happened? Snowfall, DJ Drama.
What?
I Still Got It, Snoop Dogg. I Got a Family, NBA Youngboy. 3 Gangsta Grills in 2 days. Like, it's the year of the now. No label right now, this year, this moment, is overshadowing us at all.
Yeah, drop them bombs for that.
Bombs on them. I'm letting them talk. I actually hope that they steal the show right now, and I just jump in. No, start. Keep going. Go.
All right, but I do want to go back real quick before we get into all that good stuff. So I know that you came from the Bay. So what are some of the big musical influences in the Bay, and what makes their music so unique?
It's a very independent kind of environment. It's really similar to Texas, like, you know what I mean, where anybody that came up rapping, like, that's what you learned first. You learned how to kind of do it yourself, like, basically. And, my influences, people like E40, of course, Too Short. But, I took a fondant of people like Mac Mall and things like that, because he was always came universal to me. And, you know what I'm saying, he was always appealing to me. So, the Bay really known for, don't wait on nobody, do it yourself.
Oh, I like that. So when you came to Atlanta, what was like the biggest culture shock? Like, what's the biggest difference between Atlanta culture and the Bay culture?
No disrespect. But like, I never seen a gay black man until I came to Atlanta.
That's a good way to, you know what?
Just be honest.
Openly too, like, just comfortable, like you've seen it, but
it's also dope because being here for over the years now, you know what I'm saying, I totally understand it. You know what I mean? And I probably wouldn't if I was still out there. So that's one thing. One culture shock is I wouldn't say it's a culture shock, but it's more so when I first came though. Like now it's totally different. Like I came in 2001 or something like that. Like it was a whole different time then than it was right now though.
It was way different than I ain't gonna lie to you.
Who was the first person from Atlanta to embrace you?
Fort Knox and
I'm about to say Willie Joe is the reason why. If you're from Atlanta, if you've ever got dapped Fort Knox and your arm was hurting, Willie Joe is the reason for that. I met Fort Knox as Willie Joe's manager.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was Fort Knox and Tyreek, yep.
Mm-hmm.
How did you two ended up meeting one another? I know you said like in the
talent shows.
Talent shows.
It was literally like
So you were looking for talent at talent shows?
No, I was managing Rock City.
Okay.
And he was being managed by Fort Knox and Tyreek. And, you know, it was really like, we should do a movie about that shit.
Who won the talent show?
Well, Willie Joe won. We won. I remember one particular, him winning and Tehran being so mad walking home. Because I think the only talent show we ever lost to in Atlanta that we competed with was to Willie Joe.
Stop it.
No, you don't understand. Rock City would come to talent shows and be like, how much the money? Oh, it's $1,000. All right, perfect. Because we're going to get groceries with that. Like, it was like we knew we were going to win. And I remember he beat us at Peacock one night. And it was like... Bro, it was like Tehran was so mad walking home, like, we never supposed to lose to nobody. He was like, yo, but Willie Joe is our family. Fuck that. We're not supposed. We needed that money. It was like that. We only lost the talent show one time. That was the Willie Joe.
And the crazy part about them times is like we really was sharpening each other's iron. Like, like little, if they didn't know, like I would study them. Like I would peep the way they would come out, how the two brothers would bounce off each other. Like, and so I started incorporating Fort Knox in my show because the way they was rocking. Like, so I just love the way we always was, you know what I'm saying, made each other better, but always supported each other too.
Willie Joe would perform Get 'Em Got 'Em Good. Rock City would perform Bang It. Bob would perform Cloud Nine. Like literally, we would see each other.
Yellow Wolf.
Jacob Lattimore would show up with two dancers behind him. He was 12. I saw Jacob Lattimore last night. Now he's a star in Shy.
You know what's crazy about the Peacock show? That was the first night when Young Jock did It's Going Down.
Yeah, exactly. So Young Jock, so we literally like, we all came up together. So to see Willie Joe go from like A&R, I mean, from like rapper to A&R, it's like, it's dope because I didn't see him as nothing but a star. So watching him like, you know, brand the fly A&Rs and all the other shit, I'm just like, and Royce too, I seen them both come up. I know Royce is an engineer. Like he was Gemini the engineer, but you know, he's Royce now. So, you know, I got to let these brothers grow into their shit. So, you know, I wanted to make sure we had them here. We talked our shit.
Yeah, so I want both of you guys to kind of talk about your transition from coming from engineer to A&R and from artist to A&R.
Engineer, I ain't gonna lie. Back in them days, we was at Verse Simmons. He was under Akon and Boo Vision, and I be in the studio and I'm seeing the A&Rs talk, and I'm realizing like, yo, these guys are making more money than me, and I swear they not smarter than me. They can't even operate Pro Tools. So what are we talking about? So that's what I mean. At the time, I was just focused on being the best engineer I could, just to be a part of music, because that's a vital part of what makes me a dope A&R today. But
so you still jump in and engineer?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's my deliverable. Like the music is the bullets in the gun that we shoot when we go in the office or we talking to product managers or whatever. So if there's something that I know I can do, I do that. Whether it's my job role, too many people are caught up in titles versus skill set. I feel like every A&R got a different skill set. Some come from managers, some come from being promoters, some come from engineers, some come from being artists. Each of those paths has like a different value to it that you can bring in the creation of a product for the consumer.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
It's smart, right?
You know, a little something.
What was the question?
So your transition from becoming an artist to A&R.
It kind of happened crazy. I mean, I was still rapping. Because even around those times, I eventually got signed to Show Enough, Jazzy Faye, and Capital. That kind of fell apart like within 6 months. Like Noonie and Jazzy Faye broke up. The person at Capital that signed me, Ronnie Johnson, passed away. Yep. So I pretty much was in a limbo, and I pretty much I fell out with Fort Knox and them with some management type. So it was just like a whole whirlwind going in. So I felt like I need to go back to the Bay Area. Because the one thing that was going on at that time is I had Atlanta going crazy, but all the labels were called the Bay, and they'd be like, yeah, we know him, but he ain't got no presence here. And I took that personally. Like, I'm the type of person, like, I'm an authentic person. Like, if I'm out here repping the Bay, saying hyphy, they got to know. So when that happened, I I physically went back to the Bay, like, and made it a purpose to turn up. And that's what I did. Made a song with E40, became an anthem out there, did all that. But then my boy, I got a best friend named Pills. He kept, he been around since day one. He always used to tell me, come back to Atlanta. Like, man, you've been out there too long. You need to come back. Like, you made too much of an impact. Too many people love what you did. Because he's feeling all of where Willie Joe at. Because like I said, I left. That was my impression. I left, and everyone thinking it's finna go ham. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta think, my whole class going crazy. Rock City, B.O.B., like everybody's going crazy from the stage to a national thing. And even though I'm doing my thing, it was a little frustrating. So basically, he convinced me to move back. I moved back, and within a year, we was rocking. Boom, boom, boom. Long story short, Pills passed away. And then at the funeral, it was weird. I was leaving the funeral, and then I got a call from one of my close friends, Lake, who's the CEO of Generation Now. And
wow.
He just hit me and said, man, You know what? I've been talking to Drama and Cannon and them, and I think you could be a dope A&Rs the way you've been doing your stuff.
Were you nervous to make that?
No, I looked at it like it was a transition from God. Like, I looked at it like he spoke right to me through Lake. So when he said it, I said, dang. And you got to think, he said, we're thinking about making you an A&R. So he didn't say you were A&R. Right. That point on, I was at the office. I was there 6 months straight, no pay, no nothing. Like A&R and project that's out right now, to where it just eventually became an A&R. And now to this day, I'm head A&R now.
Wow.
So.
The importance of working for free, kind of, and getting your foot in the door. I think a lot of young kids nowadays don't even understand that you kind of gotta. Exactly. Russell Simmons said, like, I lost $1 million before I made $1. Like, you gotta do some free work before you actually get to reap the benefits. But are there any similarities between being an artist and an A&R?
Yeah, I think that's where my strengths come in, because, like, being that I was an artist, I know every emotion you have as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Especially the emotions before anything cracks. Like, so I kind of know how to, kind of like install patience in you, and like how you understand the whole bigger picture. And like, one of my biggest strengths as an A&R is development, because I literally develop myself. So from stage presence to everything. So
that's crazy. So what do y'all think is missing in today's music industry? What do y'all think, from A&R perspective, what would you say is lacking? What's y'all opinion on the music industry and what's going on?
Two things: development and honesty. Because honestly, some things don't need to be developed. You feel me? Like, anybody can quote unquote make it in a sense, but the part that your team plays really fast tracks that. Like, I believe everybody I work with is gonna have their shot. It's gonna be the biggest thing. That remains to be seen. But the platform and the stage to put you on to give you a fair chance, for sure. So honesty and just development, because you just can't come out the gate knowing what it is. It's a process to everything, and you got to trust it. Like my man said the other day, you damn near got to love the process, because it's going to keep you the most uncomfortable until you get where you want to go.
Exactly. Fire.
What about you?
Joseph. Joseph. So let me ask you a question. All right. So what is the different kind of A&Rs that y'all think, if y'all had to categorize them, and what would you categorize yourself?
I think there's admin A&Rs where they're just very great at the paperwork, and you never have a clearance sample late. You never have, all your producer agreements. They on top of everything. I feel like it's a creative A&R who's like more hands-on the creative side of, doing the music and woo-woo. And then it's like it's the data one, where it's like, they pretty much make their judgments based off the numbers. And, I ain't mad at that. Me, obviously, I'm more of a creative, because I come from that. Yeah.
What about you, Royce? Your A&R's category, and which one do you see yourself as?
Outside of agreeing with what he said, I'm gonna break it down a little differently. I'm gonna be like, there's the workers, and then there's the illusion of the work. So for the workers, it's like you're really hands-on to a certain degree. That don't mean you spending every hour in the studio, so on and so forth, but you putting a certain pieces in play to get the result that you envision. The illusioners, it's like you may have somebody that sets up a session and puts a bunch of people in the room and then walks away and just lets it be what it's gonna be. So there's no control over file management or song structure or nothing that, like, they're loading the clip that you shooting with. You know what I'm saying? So there's really like workers, and then it's kind of like the illusion of the work that some people really focus a lot on. And it's like the work cuts through. Instead of just receiving songs from people, if you kind of have a vision of what music you're looking for so you can put it out, when you go to offer it up, it's just reinforced because it's what you wanted type of thing. I don't think enough A&Rs take advantage of the vision capability that they have in the situation. Like, you ain't got to be the boss to add to the vision. You know?
Okay, I'm going to go. I want to say that the level of A&Rs to me, I think you have the street lifestyle A&Rs. Those are the guys that you want to hang out in the club with. You know, those are guys that's gonna pull up with the flyest chicks with, or the right drink. They know what party to go to tonight. You have those A&Rs. Then you have the studio A&Rs. Those are the people who are literally in the studio 24/7, 365. They don't want to leave the studio. They know all the writers, all the producers. They are in the weeds and cracks of it. Then you have the research guys. Those are the guys that pay attention to the numbers, right? The numbers and watch what's happening and, you know, all of that shit that's going on with like data and all that other stuff. Then you have the office A&Rs. Those are the people who, when you go to Def Jam or when you go to a label, those are the people that you know going to be in the office, right? The lifestyle A&Rs, they ain't in the damn office. You're going to see them at the club tonight, right? Studio A&Rs, they in the studio. The research guys at the computer, they don't want to talk to you because they search the internet. Then you have those guys who you know for a fact when you go to New York, you're going to run into those guys, right? That's the fourth one. And then the fifth one, I would say, is the fascination A&R guys. The people that are fascinated by it, think they do it, are around it every day, but don't have no fucking clue and don't even want to put no work in to find a way to be that. And I think that all of those guys eventually graduate to A&R developers, builders, right? I think I've never been a lifestyle A&R. I've always been a studio A&R or the record guy or the office guy. Sometimes I've been out in the shots. I guess you say I'm all of that, but my graduation, I think the evolution of that is someone who knows how to take an act, develop it from beginning to the end. That can say, this is where you belong. This is how your music should sound. This is how you should look. And here's the people that I'm going to put around you and get that. And I think that those A&Rs, that's what I would say that I feel like I do. But I feel like those A&Rs are the eventual graduation of everything else once you've mastered yours. Because I don't think nobody wants to be in the studio. When I was at Epic, I was in the studio every day, every night. And then I seen an office A&R come in, sign Megan Trainor. Shout out to Paul Pontius. He signed Megan Trainor. And he literally just signed her, made sure all her stuff was right. He was in the office every day. And she wound up selling 10 million records. Meanwhile, I'm in the studio every night, killing myself, trying to make a hit. And he just let it flow easily. And that's what was a real lesson for me. So when I got to Interscope, I was trying to be the office A&R. When I got to Warner, I was trying to be the best of all of those things. And I feel like where I'm at now is just like I understand my role in this shit and what I shouldn't be or should be doing.
As a piggybacking off that, do you think everything you just described is kind of like the career progression of an A&R? Because it kind of starts from an organic space where you're kind of like a dot connector or a social person.
Well, I mean, I think everybody has a way. So like Willie Joe developed himself. So now they're like, yo, come help us with A&R. So you know how to, like, I can't teach an artist how to perform. I can say what I want, but you could tell them actually, yo, you got to feel it. You can actually do it. You're not just a coach. You were once a player. Yeah. I was never a player. I was always a coach, right? So, and for you, Royce, you can actually go in the room and you can hear sonically things and put things together. So that's the added value you bring to the table, plus your passion that you're elevating to something else. But I've known both of you guys for years, and the one thing I can say is I see the hunger to be more, not the. I'm in this position like an A&R is supposed to make you feel alive. A&R is supposed to make you feel like an A&R is a motherfucker that you sit in the room to make the act feel like this is the company for you, right? So you got to have that passion on top of the skill, on top of the fire, on top of everything else that it takes for somebody to be like, holy shit, I want to fuck with this guy. Like, I felt alive being around certain A&Rs. And certain A&Rs, I felt like, how the fuck did you get here? I'm just being honest. Like, how the fuck did you end up here? You don't have passion or nothing. You were just a great button pusher, or you knew the right producer or artist who didn't want to talk to nobody but you, and that's how you kept your job. So it's so many levels to it, but I like to categorize them as those.
Okay, so I want all of you guys to actually answer this question next. What is your number one obligation to an artist as an A&R?
For me, I feel like it's seeing the vision through.
What does that mean?
I I like to get with the artists when they're in the beginning stages of, their project, kind of like talk to them, fill it out. The dope thing with our artists is we kind of sign visionaries, so they kind of have a vision of what they want to do somewhat, so it's kind of easy to peep what they want to do and, structure it and then help them finish it out.
I like that.
Question again, I'm sorry.
Okay, what is your number one obligation to artists as an A&R?
For me, it's about communicating the understanding of the process that we're going through. Because, expectations are free. Everybody can have that, but people don't really understand the process or the reality behind something. Like, if an artist is on a promo run and we're just, we're hopping from plane to car, hotel, there's all kind of associated costs with this. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like, the artist is responsible for these costs, even though you're not bearing it up front. So I try to communicate the business to the artist because I have the balance of the creator with me too. It's like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
Oh, I like that. That's why you guys work really well together. So you're like the navigator through it. He's the one kind of making sure it goes from beginning to end.
Like Joe helps me go with the flow. You feel me? Because I'm real like technical and analytical about things. So
he's the engineer originally.
So Joe kind of helps me kind of like, yo, sometimes you just got to let it breathe and let it be, and it's going to be what you want it to be type of thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
And Ray, what about you? What do you think your number one obligation to artists is as an A&R?
Honesty. I think if you're gonna be an A&R guy, you gotta be honest. If you're gonna be an A&R girl, you gotta be honest. You gotta be honest with the artist on how you feel. I mean, nobody is that good where they're always right. And if that guy was, he'd be the richest man in the world. He'll own the music business. Nobody's right 100% of the time. Nobody's even right probably 50% of the time. But as long as you could tell the truth about how you feel and help somebody get past it, it works. Because when the artist works with you, they just want to feel safe with you. Like I said, A&R is your navigator through the entire building, right? That's what A&R is the person that's going to the marketing people, the digital marketing people, the radio people, the DSP sales people, and saying, this is who I signed, this is where they are, this is where they sit, here's where they got to end up. And you can't do that. You can't speak on someone's behalf without having that trust. So for me, the A&R's number one responsibility is to be honest and build trust with their artists. They should be able to trust you in their sleep because they are trusting you with their dream. And let's be clear, if the right artist signed to the wrong person, they fucked. So who you sign to is more important than anything else. It's like being drafted in the NBA. If you get drafted by the right team, you're gonna be a superstar. Because they understand how to groom. And if you get drafted by the wrong team, you might be fucked and out the league in a year or two. It's just the game.
Before we sat down, right, I was talking with some of the people in the office. I didn't know. I thought A&Rs kind of just were scouts. Like, scouted you, gave it to the label. That's part of it. But no, I didn't know they finished it through. I didn't know that they had to develop your project. I didn't know that.
It's the liaison between the creative and the administrative.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I could be in the studio creating a record with you, but at the same time, I still need to understand all the musicians or producers or songwriters that's involved because I still have to submit terms for all these beautiful songs. And outside of the cover art, we still got to get the photography agreement from the guy that shot and edits and so on. So everything's real technical. It's just as much business as it is creative.
So what's a misconception that people kind of have about A&Rs? Anybody?
That the misconception, I'll speak first. The misconception is that,
for that one.
no, I'm serious, because the misconception is that an A&R today, now 10 years ago it was different. An A&R today cannot just sign you without traction. You need to be doing something for A&R. So like you could be with the EVP of any label, and don't get me wrong, he might be able to get one off, maybe two. If he's really got weight, maybe two, but that's it. And depending on how those two go, he might not ever get none off again. Every day when you're an A&R, you're putting your name on the line. What artists don't understand about this job is every day we wake up, I have to put my name on the line. And if you fuck up or if you fail, that you go home. I stay in the room and they look at me like, you signed Chocolate Daddy. You ever see that scene from, what's that movie, Get Him to the Greek? You signed Chocolate Daddy. How many units did Chocolate Daddy do? 20,000 units. Proud of every unit. You got to understand that. But if you are the right A&R guy, and you sign Alicia Keys or something like that, or something that blew up, then you can get your shit off. But at the end of the day, A&Rs don't have as many shots as you think they do. Like for every 100 artists coming our way, you only can really fuck with one of them. If you found 2 in a week or 2 in a 6-month period, you came the fuck up. Nobody discovers superstars better than just superstars. I don't care what nobody say. The best A&Rs is gonna always be an artist.
Okay.
Period. If you an artist and cause you actually speak the language that they speak, you live the life they live. Like I remember LA told me a story about, he was like, when Rihanna, cause you remember when they signed Def Jam, when they signed Tia Marie, remember she was on the front cover of that XXL magazine, not Rihanna. Yeah, no, meaning, I mean, it's not a secret. That's actually public record. And if you pay attention, if Tierra's on the front cover and not Rihanna, what is Def Jam communicating to the world? That Tierra is our priority, right? Well, LA told me the reason why, he said Beyonce came to him and was like, that girl right there is the one.
I heard that story before.
Yeah, like, no, he told that story before. Yeah, so if you look at like if I got an artist I want to fuck with, I want to hear what other artists think about him. It's a successful artist. Like, I'm gonna listen to an artist before I listen to any executive in period, because they see shit that we can't see. They are it. That's why Willie Joe probably got the advantage over me and Royce right now.
Yeah, so what do you guys think some misconceptions are about A&Rs nowadays?
To me, it's that A&Rs is extinct. I feel like the ones they focus on maybe, ain't delivering it, but I know a lot of people personally that's in the game that's definitely A&R and that's definitely on top of their shit, that definitely has a passion for it, that's developing these artists. So I feel like the misconception that it's extinct, I think it's alive and well.
And then outside of that, it's just about like listening to music and liking music, and it's not
way
that
deeper than that.
It's so many people that come around and then eventually they want to be that, like they want to be an A&R, and it's just like, well, I mean, there's a lot of other vital positions, because the A&R, we're taking something from nothing to trying to be something, like if a person's in a different sector of the business and they deal with a physical product, they just got to focus on selling that physical product, and that could be more advantageous money-wise than gambling on a loan investment type thing.
Okay, I asked this question and it started an argument, so I want to see what you guys say.
Start an argument. Let's go.
I think it's just different points of views. Who is your loyalty to when you're an A&R? Is it to the label or to the artist?
Woo. Let them answer.
Why? Why is this like a thing? I thought this would have
I'm gonna let them
been a
answer. Then I'm gonna break
answer.
down. That's a very, very good question.
Okay.
I'll let them break it down.
It's a balance of both. But hold on, I'm gonna choose a side. Let me just start with the preface. You feel me? It's a balance of both. But ultimately, my loyalty is to success.
I like that one. I know that's right.
So
He created his option.
yeah, like 48 laws of power.
A, B, no, I'm going C.
So yeah, my loyalty is to success, because sometimes, and being that bridge between creative and administrative, there may be something that the label doesn't understand that I can help translate, or something that the artist doesn't understand that I can help translate. So,
But you gotta pick one. Pick one. I'm gonna have to pick. You gotta pick. I want to hear your answer.
Gen Now is the label that pays me.
Hello.
It's the year of the now. You feel me?
better
Like, I will never downplay and it's not even about just working for a
such
great
a hard
label.
question. It's you right though.
It's just the foundation that, Drama Cannon and Lake have allowed, that they built and allowed us to continue to add on to. Like, I'll just never take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, it's not label against artists. We all focus on the same thing. We just may speak a different language. So as an A&R, it's your goal to be the translator, so you ain't got to choose sides.
Okay, good. I like that. What about?
I think it depends on the situation. I think my situation is the label for sure, but a lot of situations aren't family built like that. So
Yeah, because DJ Drama is the CEO of you guys,
correct,
right? So.
DJ Drama, Don Cannon, and
Lake
Show.
Cheesy.
Okay, now family. All right, come on, school us.
So here's why it's a hard question, because I know some A&Rs that have literally only kept their job because of loyalty to their artists. Like literally, like I can speak. I don't want to know if he even want his name out there, but I'll say it. But Wayne Williams literally was an A&R at Jive Records for 30 fucking years, because in his only project he had to handle was R. Kelly. And when R. Kelly got sent home, they sent Wayne home. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm just being real. So I feel like I've seen artists make careers. Aaron Bayshuck got became the CEO, became the president of Interscope because when Bruno Mars won Best New Artist, he shouted him out. The artist is who makes us the stars. The company is who pays us. So you got to decide to yourself, do you want to get paid or do you want to be a star? So my response is going to probably be, I'm going to roll with the stars because if you're a star, you're going to always get paid.
All right, now I like that.
And no,
it ain't no battle though. Like this is the thing.
No. But can I tell you something? No, but you're right. But here's the thing: you guys also work for a boutique label where it is you guys are probably eating at the dinner table together, right? Mm-hmm. But if you got to look at it from a standpoint of a bigger artist, like it's no loyalty in this music business, bro. And here's the thing: nobody knows. Like you're literally signing an artist to a company from an A&R standpoint that is not yours. That company can let you go today, and that artist will still be theirs.
Not fair.
And they could cut ties on how you do it. But if the artist is side with you, and the artist is like, I'm not recording shit until that guy's involved, that company will reluctantly pay you.
So this is the thing, though. That should be built in your rapport with the artist regardless. Like, just because my loyalty lies with the company doesn't mean that this artist is not going to fight tooth and nail for me. It just means that if the best interest, because the company's best interest is the success of the artist, and the artist's best interest is to be successful. So if we're both aligned on the same end goal, how could we ever be on opposite sides?
But here's the thing, though. Okay, I'm going to tell you, because the artist can have a different agenda than the company. The company and the artist can have two different agendas. Prime example, L.A. Reid, when he got let go from Arista. Nigga, Outkast won Album of the Year that year. They took L.A. Reid on stage with them. After he got let go, and was like, shout out to my bro. Real talk. Like, real talk. But that's what also led Def Jam to call in L.A. to say, come over here and run this.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is what I tell you, though.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but it's like, as a caveat to that, I'm not going to not make a decision just because like the label may not agree with it. You feel what I'm saying? Like everything's about the best interest of success, and that don't side on either party. You know what I'm saying? Like for them to call him on stage, like that's because of the rapport that he built with them. Because it's like regardless, I'm fighting.
But think about it. How do you get fired from a job if you just had the artist that won Best New Album at the Grammys that week? How does that happen? You know why? Because the label, the conglomerate might have a different agenda. It might be, we don't want a popular CEO. We want a quiet CEO. We don't like that the artists love you so much. There could be so many reasons why you can get let go from a job. But if you have a relationship, it's like KP. KP signed Tip. Tip and KP is still tight. KP did Usher's album. KP and Tip is Usher still tight. When you go to Usher's show in Vegas, KP is DJing right now. Like if you remain friends and have the relationship with the artist, the superstar, and that relationship is 100, they're gonna always look out for you because they are the real ecosystem.
Yeah, but I peep all the examples.
Go ahead.
All the examples you show of artists that's doing it is artists that come from our cloth. I'm trying to figure out what artists are you talking about in this millennium, because ain't none of these niggas loyal. Ain't none of these niggas looking out for nothing. That's why my answer was what it was.
No, but
I feel like the artists are different these days.
But then I think Gemini had the best. I mean, Royce had the best answer, which is I gotta name my phone as Gemini, but we gotta call him Royce. I gotta respect his name change. Like it's like when 2 Chainz went from Tit. I still call 2 Chainz Tit, by the way, but whatever. But my point is that you're right. You should be on the side of success. But all I'm saying is that Warner Records, Def Jam Records, Arista Records can fire the entire company from the CEO down to the assistants. And every artist on that company is still going to be there. So, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, but what keeps you in the game is when artists fuck with you heavy. And I know one specific situation where an executive kept his word to an artist and the company fired him. I ain't gonna put him on blast because, no real talk. The company fired him for staying loyal to that certain superstar artist, and he was down for 6 months. But because the artist community was like, shout out to him for looking out for us first, that at the end of the day, this business does not work without artists. It can work without record labels. It can work without record labels. It doesn't work without artists. So for me, don't get me wrong, I'm an executive. I'm an advocate for executives, but I don't give a fuck what you say. If you signed a huge artist, you can get in any door that you want. You can't get in any door because you got a huge title.
Correct.
Because I could become EVP of Nothing Records and nobody's going to answer my fucking phone call.
At all.
But if I say I'm on Bruno Mars' team, everybody's answering my phone call.
Fact.
So the artists create the ecosystem that we're in. That's why artist development is so important, because now the music business is becoming a song business rather than an artist business. So that's the scary part. So now you got 50 plaques on the wall and I don't even recognize one face. I know who he is, but who the fuck is all these other people? He went gold. He went platinum because of how the new music business is shut down, but he don't matter either. He got a platinum record and he's at home trying to figure out what to do next.
Well, this is the thing, like, because the music business has been around so long and this transition with streaming and such, it's like meeting the stats versus cultural impact is two separate things. I feel like you have a lot more artists today meeting the stats of money, plaques, so on and so forth, but culturally impacting to where they represent the times. For real, I don't think that's in short supply these days.
Agreed. I'm gonna lie. Like, y'all right. Like, it's crazy because Jack Harlow's doing SNL and I was looking at it, I was like, damn, that's crazy. Because he's not just, fuck that he's performing at SNL. He's hosting it. It's only a few artists in history that has ever performed and host on SNL. That means SNL is a measuring stick to like who you are in the world. That means white America loves you on top. No, for real. That means not just white America, cool white America. Not middle America, cool white America. The cool white America loves you. So that's because Atlantic is probably breaking the records, and Generation Now we're focusing on breaking the artists.
This is built off a foundation of legacy, greatness on greatness. So it's like when you look at Jack Harlow, right? First, we already, like, Drama already built him, Cannon, like, they already built their legacy. The Gangsta Grills, the DJ Drama, the Don Cannon, so on and so forth. And then to introduce and maximize with Uzi, like, that's historical, right? And that's enough for a label to ride off of in itself. But then to circle back again and have not only success with an artist, but it's attacking something culturally. You understand what I'm saying?
Who gives y'all the culture?
I mean, we're Generation Now. We're a representation of the
You
culture.
saying what I'm saying. You give the culture. That's what I'm saying. Like, labels don't break artists. Labels break songs. That's what they do. Artists break artists. Production companies break their artists because a label is focused on the money, which is right. They're supposed to be focused on the money. And the money comes from the record breaking, right? That's where the money comes from, the streaming, right? The money comes from the record breaking. And the team, on the other hand, wants to break the artist. And that's how we do it. So Generation Now is breaking the artist while Atlantic is breaking the records. That's why it works. If you look at anything that works, I promise you, dog, labels focus on the song, New Music Fridays, getting the song on the playlist, getting the song on the radio.
But the momentum that you create from your cultural impact, it aids the song. But
I agree.
You can have a song on a playlist and it go dead after the first week or
I
two
agree.
because there's no momentum or ecosystem for the consumer to be a part of.
Who gives you the culture, though? Don't forget Drama took Uzi, Said, Jack Harlow. He took them all on tour before they was anybody, right or wrong?
Correct.
That's how you get the culture. He made them do freestyles before anybody, right? That's the shit you can't see. That's the shooting in the gym that don't count. And the label said, give us what's popping. Oh, the data's telling us we got some here. We're gone. And now you playing catch up and then you create a superstar. But how hard is that? Think about it. I'm with you.
I mean, it wasn't that strategic. The way you explaining it sounds amazing.
I didn't say it was strategic. I'm not saying strategic. I'm just saying, first of all, in order to break an artist, you need it's damn near like a miracle. You need like all of the stars to line up at the same time, and then you break an artist. Let's be honest. It's not easy, because if it was easy, we'd be having way more breaking. Correct. But the reason I've codified it. If you look at all of the artists breaking right now that have broken in the last 10 years, 5 years, all of them have been connected to a production company, or they were just brilliant marketers of themselves, i.e. Lil Nas X.
You might have to
give me an example. Give me an example of an artist that. What you mean explain?
Like, so.
Okay, so let's look at it. Kendrick was signed to TDE. SZA signed to TDE. Look at the artists breaking. Just name artists breaking. Artists that are breaking. Jack Harlow, Generation Now. Come on, name artists breaking.
Seddy Hendrix.
No. I said breaking. Tamira wouldn't know what that is. That's what I'm saying. The Baby is signed to Arnold Taylor.
Right. I added my little sprinkle.
No, I'm saying, but the Baby signed to Arnold Taylor. That's why he's breaking. Like Arnold. Yeah, that's why he was signed to Arnold Taylor. Yo Gotti has Moneybagg Yo. Like, dog, if you look at the artists that are breaking, if Glorilla signed directly to a label, she would not be having as much cultural relevance if she was signed to Yo Gotti. Because Yo Gotti is going to put her in certain rooms, make certain moves. He going to take her to Cardi B himself. Like, dog, an A&R can't make a Cardi B phone call and say, I went on a feature. Y'all know that. It got to be somebody who got the relationship, the connections. That's who cares about breaking the artist. That's the perfect storm. Y'all break the record, let me break the artist.
Y'all kind of mentioned it, but how did the internet change / influence the A&R game? Like now, it's changed from talent shows and stuff to what now?
Unfortunately, it changed. It's wide open. Like like back then, I did showcases because that was the only way to be in front of Shaka Zulu.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like everything being wide open.
I think it's a double-edged sword. Like it's a good thing and a bad thing. Only reason it's bad is because the things that it develop out of you when you on the other side, when you got to do the showcase to be in front of a Shaka or somebody like that. Like the characteristics and just the development things that it do for you is unmatched. But obviously it's better when I probably can DM him or something and he gonna respond. Like obviously that's way easier. But
I think internet made it easy, made everybody lazy.
I mean, yes and no. You feel me? Because as time has gone on, I feel like the same way you have like the metaverse or something, right? Every artist has to create their ecosystem. So if a consumer decides to like engage with you past just listening to your song, they have a world to walk into. Enough artists today don't have no world for a consumer to walk into past the record that just finished playing.
The internet made it super easy. If you can't make it in today's internet, if you can't make it, then you just don't deserve it. Like Willie Joe had to find a ride if he didn't have one, find a way in the show in case if he didn't have one, perform his song that none of us ever heard, sweat, work hard, leave a CD with you that you hoped that they took home with them, put in the car and listened.
Actually,
that you hope got to a DJ. Compared to now, all you got to do is do a freestyle on the table, put it on the TikTok, it goes viral, and now everybody's like, oh, did y'all see that freestyle? It's easier now. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a lot more artists. The hardest part now is consistency with it being so easy.
I disagree. It's not easy, bro, because internet has leveled the playing field.
I like you because you argue against me. Nah, nigga, let's do this. I love it. Let's go.
And like the internet has leveled the playing field to where it's like it's not about just the people that's in the room with you. Like it's about the people across the world with you. So to be able to cut through, like we know how much music is uploaded every week, Tuesdays, Fridays,
100,000 a day.
Exactly. So with the internet, that's millions of pieces of content that you're breaking through to actually have it be relevant amongst everybody in the room. That's not easy.
It's not. It is. I can prove it. I can prove why it's easy.
Okay.
I started a podcast. The first thing I said to my team was, I had a whole team. I said, if we can't do this consistently, we shouldn't do this. If you pay attention to how the first 4 months of my Instagram when I was posting clips, that was literally not a podcast. That was literally like, am I lying? Am I lying? Come in the room, ask me 3 questions. I'm going to answer. Whatever answer looked best, we posted. That's why I was an R3 sign behind me. Because it was like, what the fuck are we doing? But my thing to my team was that it's like, if we can't wake up and shoot the gym under any conditions, we should not commit to being a team. So what I'm telling you is that you're right. But I said that. I said the new world, the hard part is being consistent with it being so easy. Listen, the hardest part of the new world that we live in, and y'all know it, is making our artists. This is the hardest part of being an A&R, is making our artists do the work they have to do for themselves. Correct. Am I right or wrong?
You're correct, but this is the thing that you're leaving out though. This little device right here makes everything possible right now. We want more formalized, professional content and whatnot. But the way the world works today, even if something look, not professional, that's just an aesthetic.
That don't matter.
Exactly. So it's like it's that much easier. If I need an artist to do a drop or go live,
you just back my shit. You said it's that much easier.
I'm saying, okay.
That's my point. It's easier.
It's easier to create what's necessary in order to cut through, but you still got to cut through, and the playing field is a lot bigger.
And let me tell you something. The only ones that cut through are the consistent ones. Like Glorilla FNF wasn't
viral
her first
don't
song.
Mean consistent, bro.
No. No, viral don't mean consistent. But I have a rule on the A&R side that I tell everybody. I say, if we know what we aiming for, we'll hit it 100 times out of 100. 3 times out of 100, it might go viral. 3 out of the 100 we did might go viral, but we gotta constantly shoot at that same location 100 times, and one of those is gonna work. You don't know which one's gonna work, neither do I. But for me, like this podcast took off. We put a clip out about hip hop being R&B being dead, and Puff posted it a month later. We didn't even know about it. We didn't even know like he was gonna post this shit. But guess what? Did we sit around being like, man, that hip hop is R&B? That clip is going. Somebody gonna pick that up and go with that? Nope, we didn't do that. We just kept putting out more content. And eventually people gonna come there. That's why franchises are so much more successful than fucking startups, right? Because if I see a McDonald's, I know that McDonald's is gonna be there. I know what to expect from that McDonald's. But if I see that store that say Willie Joe and Royce's, I don't know if they're gonna be there 6 months from now. What if I invest in the restaurant and I love it and they're not there?
A sniper shot plus somebody who blindfolded can hit the same target. You feel me? You just don't know. A sniper shot is more guaranteed, but if you got your eyes closed and you shooting a bunch of shots, yeah, at some point it's gonna hit. But if you a sniper shot, it could still hit. You feel me? Like the thing about that, going back to the viral activity, the thing about being viral, you can't premeditate that. That's just about being in tune and the frequency and being in the ecosystem of what's going on. Like the fact that Diddy's whole thing is love and it's R&B and bringing R&B back, and then the fact that you're already of the culture and you've been consistent with this podcast, and that just so happened to be the subject matter that week to where that content could represent what he was talking about or what his movement is, that's what it ends up being. It's not something that you can kind of predict or premeditate.
You can't. You're right.
So that's why it's not easy with the internet.
You're right. But that's why you got to stay consistent, because you don't know which one is going to work. But if you don't shoot enough, nothing is going to hit. Every artist's biggest problem is...
That's the basketball. You miss every shot you don't take.
Every artist's biggest problem today is that they don't want to do all the necessary work it takes to be an artist. I guarantee if you look at the artists that work and the artists that didn't work, the artists that work were the motherfuckers that did everything possible to win. Not the motherfucker that was like, man, it's hard. It's not hard. It's actually easier, more consistent, free to do it. Only hard part is, can you do it constantly for nothing? If you can do it, because if every time I take a shot, it costs me $1,000, I'm going to be different on them shots I take. But if every shot costs $1, I don't give a fuck, because 1,000 shots was $1,000. So for me, it's like artists thinking big is what loses the music. It loses them in the music business. You got to think small now. You got to think, fuck, how can I get 1 million people to fuck with me? How can I get 1,000? Because if that 1,000 can fuck with me, now I got 1,000 people down. An artist can make $1 million a year if they had 10,000 true fans.
Of course.
Exactly. So why are we worried about the big shit when we should be worried about the neat shit that's us?
And most of the time, the things that go viral are those things.
True. But do you know what works? Let me ask you, do any of us know what works? None of us know what works. The only way you know what works in today's world is trial and error.
Yeah, I don't think there's a particular formula.
It's not the only formula. It's no formula. There's only one formula: consistency.
Keep trying, right?
That's the only formula I'm saying. I'm saying consistency.
That's the only possible remedy to like getting success at some point. But other than that, it's people that pick up the gun first day and just look and they hit the target.
And guess what? Those people are the ones that should be the worried, because they don't know the fuck they did that first time to get the trick. And then when they get signed to people like us, we telling them, they looking at us like, what's the asses? And we looking at them like, what the fuck did you do to get on in the first place?
Going back to artists you referenced earlier, Lil Nas X, like the things that he continues to predicate his career on is not what he gained success on.
True.
He's shooting a different shot every time, and that shit landing.
Yeah, but why is it landing? Because he's also culture. Some artists are songs, some artists are culture. Lil Nas X understands how to make us feel something, even if it's not a song. I probably know 5 of his songs, but I know every tweet he posts. Why? Because he says some shit that makes the internet talk about him. He understands that I have to exist in the music world, and I have to exist in the social media ecosystem, I have to exist in the culture system. He understands I have to serve all these people. It is a full-time job, but you can't lose if you are fucking consistent.
All right, before I let y'all get into y'all debate, the good stuff.
This is good, by the way. I like this. I like when somebody arguing with me.
Yeah, no, I think this one is going to cause a little, well, I don't know. We'll see. So it's just, what are some critical mistakes that A&Rs make? Anybody have like a big red flag?
I don't have an A&R job right now, so I'm going to let the A&Rs talk.
You are something else. But you got experience, so I'll let you go.
To me is trying to live their vision or their dream through the artist.
That's why I fuck with him.
Like I think that's the biggest thing. Like it's the artist's dream. It's the artist's vision. And even if they don't have a vision, it's your job to see how they carry themselves, what they do, what they're into, to come up with the vision with them, not for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of A&Rs be living their dreams and how they see things through the artist.
That's what I would say. I would say most A&Rs think. I always focus on what L.A. Reid taught me. L.A. told me, he said, C-level. He said A-level executive can never take a C-level talent to the top. But he said a C-level executive can be taken to the top by A-level talent every day. So the one thing I had to start doing was getting out the way and allowing the artists to lead, because they're the ones who take us to the top. We don't take them to the top. We just give them the tools and the information for them to do it. But if they don't do it, it's nothing that we can do, because we don't make the songs, we don't perform the songs, we don't do the work.
All right, so now we're gonna get into the good stuff. Ray, you're gonna introduce it. Tell us what we debating today. And stop. He got so nervous once I even started talking about that we were gonna go into the debate. Okay, fix your face.
Let's go. Come on.
Okay, no, you the one. Come on.
Okay,
your topic. Come on, tell us what we doing.
being that this is the GAUDS and the Underdog Show, aka the GAUDS Show, we like to put together our GAUDS and Underdog list of our personal favorites today on who our favorite. So these guys are the fly A&Rs. So I want to put together our list of their top GOAT A&Rs and their top underdog A&Rs. So that's what we're about to do now. So I'm going to let Willie Joe go first because he's at the end of the table. We're going to go with your underdog list.
Okay, I'm about to
and then we're going to go to your GOAT list.
All right, cool.
And then the way we do it is you read the list off and then you can tell us why after.
All right, cool. Underdog, 5. Number 5, I'm going to have to go with Sycamore, just because obviously he was a friend of mine.
We're gonna go to that. Just run that. No, start over. Like
right.
top 5.
Top 5 underdog A&R. Number 5, Sycamore. Number 4, Orlando. I'm not gonna say his last name. Yeah,
Yep.
Ward. Yeah, boom.
Love Orlando.
Number 3, Bearline. Number 2, my boy Dallas Martin. Number 1, Dash Sherrod.
Man. Now give us your top. Or how do you want to do it, Tamara? You want to
do underdogs?
Underdog list?
Underdogs. So we got a lot of overlapping.
He's stressed.
Bearline, definitely. Orlando Waltenberg, I believe is how you pronounce it. And just being here in Atlanta, I don't think people bring up Jermaine Dupri enough because he really.
Well, he wasn't on the list because he does way more than A&R. I was trying to keep it core A&R.
Okay. Because my last one, I was going to say, DJ Drama, Generation Now. He's breaking
He's
artists.
plugging himself. He's not playing.
No, this is the thing. When you fill the gap between the product and the people, you're connecting administrative to creative. Like, you're A&R. I understand everybody does a lot more, but it's like, that's why it's an underdog, because it's so embedded in what they doing. It's a talent that's not given and catered to. Like, we praise Drama for the biggest mixtape series and all that good stuff. But outside of that, like, the artists, it's not just about just breaking artists or having a hit record. You feel me? It's about establishing career in new cultural lanes that thrive other artists. Uzi has allowed a multitude of people to have a career. But anyway, I don't want to
give us your top 5 again. I'll start off with 5. I want to make sure.
I said Bearline, Drama, Orlando Waltenberg.
Number 2.
Did
And
you say it in order?
No, I did not say it in order.
No, give us the order.
I don't really have no order, man.
No, see, that's not. You gotta do an order. You gotta do an order. Well, this is the hard part. That's why I'm so stressed. That's why I'm sweating right now at this point.
All right. Number 5, Bearline. Number 4, Orlando. Number 3, Dallas Martin. Number 2, I still said Jermaine Dupri originally. And number 1, DJ Drama, because it's culture.
Who you said was number 2? I'm sorry.
I still went back to my Jermaine Dupri.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna stay with your list, okay?
Now is that your
I
final
got my
answer?
reasons,
Shout out to Barrelline, New York. We in the building. Harlem, what's up? Okay.
So I got a lot of honorable mentions because these are all my friends. Hold on. I just gotta
know we do honorable mentions.
Right.
No, we can do it. I mean, if you watch the show,
hold on.
We got
Give the 5 underdogs
Thank
first.
you.
Like,
He's
let's stay on track. You trying to change the rules?
Nigga, I don't want to do this part.
on.
The show can end right now, and I'll be happy. These my motherfucking friends. I know I'm gonna get a phone call like, nigga, Ray. All right, cool. So I'm just telling y'all right now.
Number 5.
Number 5, I have a tie. Listen,
Damn, this is
Yo,
nigga. I done made a lot of motherfucking. You got Jermaine Dupri and Drum on your list. Neither one of those are considered A&Rs. One is considered the DJ first and the producer first.
Drum.
No, he is a great A&R, but that's like me adding Gucci. But Gucci is way more than an A&R.
You can say that though.
No,
that's
but
legal.
I'm saying,
That's legal.
You ain't gotta have the literal job. Like if you doing the job, like my man said before, he was working as an A&R before it was literally a paycheck or title.
Man,
the work is the work.
Listen, Royce. I'm gonna get my goddamn list.
All right, number 5, bro. All that tie shit. This is 4 and 5.
Both Jens, Drake and Gogo Chia.
Okay.
Jen Drake and Jen Gogo Chia.
Damn, I left Gogo Chia.
See what I'm trying to say? See what I'm trying to say? So my tie number 5 is Jen Drake, Jen Gogo Chia. I know I'm saying it wrong. Gogo Chia, Jen Drake, Jen Gogo Chia, and Dash my 5. I got to give him that because those are all that's brothers and sisters. Number 4 is Derek Arrow. Love Derek.
Yeah, 3 5s? Okay.
Nigga, hey, listen, man, that's my list. These my friends. I got 15 honorable mentions. My number 3 is Dallas Martin. Okay. Number 2 is Lon Ray.
Ooh,
I love Lon Ray. I love talking shop with her. And number 1 is Omar Grant. Yeah. My bro at Rock Nation. I just love. Okay. These are the people who I love talking shop with that I learned from.
Top 10 list.
All right, now this is where y'all gonna get in trouble. This is where the good stuff.
Nah, the ghost is actually easier.
The ghost is easier.
The underdogs is hard. The ghost is motherfuckers that is up there.
And then just call it, be like, hey, listen.
The underdogs is the motherfucking list that people would be like, nigga.
What about me? Okay, all right. So you,
Willie Joe.
No honorable mentions until the last.
No honorable mentions for my goat. My goat list is easy.
All right, let's go.
Willie Joe, go. Your goat list. 5-1.
GOAT, top A&Rs. Number 5, man, I gotta say my boy, man. My first time on a plane going to New York, man, sitting with a label, and he's a GOAT. KP, number 5. Damn. Number 4, Irv Gotti. He talking all that shit, but he still is a GOAT at the A&R. The people he picked, that era is unmatched. Number 3, the first person that ever showed me interest, first person I ever seen where I'm from, be anything outside of a rapper, Secure Stewart, man. R.I.P., man, my brother. Number 2, my Atlantic homie, man. I don't think he get enough credit, man. Mike Karen. And number 1, the biggest influence of Willie Joe of them all being A&R, man. Diddy, Puff Daddy.
Come on.
Sean Diddy Combs, man.
Oh! Come on, shout out to New York.
Yo,
in here.
I wasn't ready for that list. That list is crazy.
Mind blowing. Need some like mind blowing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, you ready? You look
I'm
like
ready.
you in shock.
No,
okay.
I really am.
Okay.
I'm about to do a last minute audible. But
see, I'm telling. I'm
Nah,
gonna
let's
make
go.
I'm gonna make y'all start submitting
Samira,
before
you can't do that, Samira.
No, because y'all
we get a change, Samira.
No, because y'all be in here.
Samira, get your list. Samira, let me get his list.
Come on, let's go. Right.
So, number 5, I'm gonna do the plug. Keep it home team. My man Don Cannon. Like that really. From a person who's a creative, we ain't doing explanations right now, so we'll come back to that.
You're on that list. 5.
All right, Don Cannon. That's number 5.
Number 4.
Number 4, I'm gonna go L.A. Reid because I feel like that's just like it's a whole. Anyway, we ain't doing that. L.A. Reid, yeah. P Diddy, number 3, cool. Dame Dash, number 2. Because the energy, which is the same energy I feel like I've even seen and learned from you over the years, it's that energy. This is my room. This is the year of the now. Anyway.
Yes.
And top Irv Gotti, yo. When I seen the documentary and I understood how pivotal he was in the creation of the music, not just the repping the brand. You feel me? Because you can rep the brand all day, but to be creating the bullets that you're shooting and them things is hitting, I'm doing explanation again. But Irv Gotti's number 1.
All right, my list, motherfuckers.
Hey, I need a real 5 too. I don't want no multiplicity.
It's easier.
No,
it's easier. I told you, Ghost is easier.
No,
listen,
no decimals.
Number 5 is Tunji. We don't give Tunji enough credit. Tunji. So I'm gonna run through my list. I'm gonna go. Number 5 is Tunji. Number 4 is Irv Gotti. Number 3 is Mark Pitts. Number 2 is Jimmy Iovine. Nice. And number 1 is L.A. Reid. L.A. Reid has done what nobody on his list has ever done. He signed 5 black acts, or 5 acts, period, at talent show level and took them all at 10 million albums. Nobody's ever done that.
What 5 was?
Usher, TLC, Tony Braxton, Outkast, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the 5th one was Pink. But he signed 5 acts that came into his office, did a song and dance, and took them to 10 million records. each. That's never been done in the business ever. And none of them helped each other, by the way. It wasn't like it was like Outkast jumped on Usher record. Mm-hmm. No, it was like separate artists all sold 10 million records. So that's why he's number one.
Anybody want to explain?
Let me hear your list. Let me explain. Go to your list. I want to hear yours. Explain that. Go ahead, Willie Joe. How you get to your list? How you get to your list?
Which one?
The GOATs. How you get to yours?
Well, KP, so I live out here, and I hear who everybody brings up when they talk culture, when they talk history, like when they talk to big dogs, Jermaine Dupri's, Shaka and Luda and them over there, and it's all a bunch of people that get named, and they all should be named, but I be feeling like they leave him out, and he's someone that's vital. Like, first and foremost, he found the superstar of the A.
Yeah.
Like, period. Like, from the relationship he had with Pharrell to even the Cap G KP see Cap G at the time he saw him and to think what he thought, like, and then when it happened for him, like,
KP is definitely somebody I learned from. KP
and he humble as hell too. Number 4. Irv Gotti. Yeah, like, I was a big fan of the Murder Inc., but I think the biggest thing for me was the trio, was the signing of Ja Rule, the Jay-Z, and the DMX. I think that core thing was just a whole wave that influenced so many people.
You can't take it away from him.
You can't. And 3, Shakur Stewart. That's just special to me.
He was. I was gonna put him on my list, but he passed away. So it was kind of like I didn't want to. He kind of lives in his own world, but that's a good one.
Yeah, he just special to me, and he did similar to Irv Gotti. He signed Rick Ross and Jeezy to Def Jam. Sierra. Once that run was done, he created the next run. So he definitely should get credit for that. And he, was ahead of his time. He died too soon. Number 2, Mike Karen. Of course, I be seeing Mike Karen all the time when we go out to New York and be at the office and stuff. And I always be tripping just how he be in the cut and quiet and just woo-woo. And he done did so much. He done impacted so much. He done signed Plies. He done signed... list goes on and on. The people he saw and said, hey, I think he it, and they become it. Like, it's kind of similar to what you just said about L.A. Reid. Maybe not that many people like that, but he definitely seen it from the jump, and we watched it blow up. Number 1, Diddy. To me, it gets no better. Like, just the way he do it, his swag, his confidence, the way he inspire, motivate, And to me, the Bad Boy run is unmatched. Like, from R&B to rap, like, I feel like everybody, when we talk about New York had it on lock, I think they mainly saying the Bad Boy run. When people used to say, man, it was all about New York, that was Bad Boy, and like Diddy, period.
Royce, let's break down your list.
Let's see. So I said L.A. Reid, obviously. I won't say y'all making me put numbers to it. It's not real numbers, but yeah, L.A. Reid, for that point that you made about just the multiplicity of success, and it's not necessarily piggybacking off nothing. Irv Gotti, like even before he got to the part where he could shoot his shot, just the signing of pivotal figures in history like Jay-Z and DMX. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Even Ja Rule in the beginning. Dame Dash, again, it was more just the energy and repping for the company. So like when you asked me earlier about loyalty to the artist or the company, I feel like he's a representation of it. And that's, to your point about the boutique label, like that's what that is. He was a boutique label and he rode for his. So it's really, he's siding with the artist, but he's going up with the corporation to make sure they get the result that they want, type thing. How many is that? 3, 4? Who am I leaving off?
Irv.
Yeah, I did. I'm just gonna cut it there, yeah, man, because everybody was impactful in history. A lot of people, like being a black executive, as you know what I'm saying, like it's something different because it's like you're of the culture, so it's not just a stock to you. It's like it's a representation of what you grew up on that you now profiting from or trying to increase the profit from.
So I'm gonna go mine, Tunji, because I seen his young brother go from an intern to the CEO. He signed Bryson Tiller. He brought Khalid, Normani. Like, his taste is impeccable. And when you were trying to sign an artist back when he was at RCA, if he was in the run-ins, it was his. Period. It was like, oh, Tunji on it? Okay, Tunji gonna get it. Like, everybody knew that. Like, because he's so lovable. It's one of my favorite people in the entire music business. Irv Gotti, because he gave us the Holy Trinity, which was Jay-Z, DMX, and Ja Rule. So I can't even take that from him. And he Ashanti and whatever else he did over the time. But I give it Gotti. Mark Pitch, because he signed Chris Brown. He did Usher's Confessions album, and he's been Miguel. But he's been an example of what black excellence looks like from an A&R standpoint, right? He keeps it, he's always been respectful. He gave me my first check. Mark Pitch did, yeah. 2005, January 05. Mark Pitch. Jimmy Iovine, because I would have put Jimmy Iovine number one, but Jimmy to me was I learned more from L.A. Reid than him, but Jimmy just knew how to simplify things. I never forget, we was in a meeting with him, and he said, you guys should do a song like Akon, I Want to Fuck You. And my guys was like, well, we don't go to the party. We don't party like that. He said, I didn't say he said, you fuck, don't you? So I didn't say make a party song. I said make a song about sex. And then he broke down why the song worked. And it was like, I never looked at music like that. He was just like, I was in a club in Paris and I heard the song came on and these girls are singing it to me and my friends. We're older than these beautiful women singing to us. And it was like, that's a hit because that song in no other world do those women sing that song to us or say those lyrics to us. And then L.A. Reid, because Jimmy is the one that told me, he said, nobody's ever done what L.A. Reid has done in history. Bro, this man literally, Atlanta is Atlanta because this man decided to move here. Like literally all of us are descendants of what L.A. Reid did as an A&R guy. And whether it's developing Usher, Outkast, Tony Braxton, all those guys, let's also talk about Shakir Stewart's, KP's, the Ray Daniels, the Chubby Babies, the people of the world that he's developed that have become great because of him and because of his influence. I've learned more as an A&R from him than I have anybody else. By far, he's like the greatest to ever fucking do it. So I got to put him at the top of my GOAT list. So that's my list. But I got to do this real quick. Don't do this.
It's going to be a mile long.
Yeah, okay. We all got to say.
Thank you. My honorable mentions, just off the top of my head, is Sammy Hop, Jermaine Peggis, who used to be my assistant. Now he's doing Gotti and Khaled,
that's dope.
Pat Afeku, my bro,
Epic, certified.
Yes, Cannon, sir. Success, Melita, Orlando, KP. Mike Karen would have been on my list because I've learned he's the second guy I've learned the most from. But Mike is incredible A&R, but he doesn't make the process. And I always tell him that it's not as fun with him, but nobody in the history of music is more effective at A&R than Mike Karen.
And I ain't gonna lie, Melita really got a whole ecosystem that people don't even realize. Like
incredible. So, and shout out to all my friends in the building. I had 10 minutes to put this list together. If I didn't say you, don't feel away. I had 10 minutes to do this shit.
Anybody else? Right. We gave him his assignment.
Because honestly, this shit is hard to do, and you want to acknowledge your friends, but it's hard to do. So that's what I'm saying.
Anybody else got any honorable mentions before I
ask the last question? Shout out to Sycamore. I fuck with Sycamore.
Yeah.
I seen him build Travis Scott from the ground up.
Yeah, my honorable mentions is just people I fool with that I think is in the class with me and Royce that we definitely on their way and they're gonna do great things. The boy Dame, my baby boy, over there with CMG and also with Def Jam putting out records. Also, my girl Chelsea, I think she's
Chelsea
so
too.
hard.
Chelsea's fire.
Yeah, she's so hard to me. Wayno, my bro. Wayno. I think Wayno's promising, man. I fool with Wayno real hard, man. I think genuine people like that is going to always win, especially when you're students of the game like he is.
You got anybody you want
Cosign. Nope.
Okay,
Cosign
all right.
alone.
So I'm going to ask you guys before you get out of here. Thank you guys, for even sitting down with us. Before you get out of here, tell me, do you guys consider yourself GOATs or underdogs?
I'm an underdog.
Why?
I'm still on the track, like running it up. Like to sit here and be able to debate this type of subject matter, even with Ray, like the position that he's in, he's been in that type of position to me since the start of my career when I wasn't in this position. So to be able to work up to a point to where it's like I still don't, it's not even, but it's just like qualified to be in the room to speak on blah 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 blah. Underdog. I'm still coming up.
I like that. Well, you put yourself at the top of the list. So
No, he didn't. He said Willie Joe. Puff was at the top. He said Willie Joe. Me, Willie Joe. I gotta say Puff.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so are you? I was about to say because you just came out like I'm number one. But yeah,
definitely underdog on his way to go.
Okay, on the way though. I like that. So, Ray, you got anything you want to say before they head out?
Keep a lookout for these young brothers. They smart, intelligent. And we had a good debate. I feel like I need to get Royce back on here to go back and forth.
Oh
again.
yeah, that's a good TV right there.
Because he want to go at it. I love it. But yo, shout out to these brothers. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate y'all reaching out.
Definitely.
I want to
shout out my dog, man, Ken Swanson, BBA, man, over there with OMB Peasy.
Happy belated to Willie Joe too. I know he just had a birthday.
Oh,
And Ken birthday, and Ken too.
Ken birthday was yesterday.
Yeah, happy
Shout out to your
birthday,
cousin
Ken,
Ken.
man.
We all came up together. Thank you, man. Great show.
Thank you once again. My name is Tamira, aka Girl from Harlem. That's Ray Daniels.
Ray Daniels, I'm on this motherfucker.
And this is the GAUDS Show. Thank you, guys.